But the so-called coalition on ISIS is a lie. The US and its allies have no intention of actually defeating ISIS. Instead of working with the Syrian army, the only force capable of fighting ISIS on the ground, they are preventing the Syrian army from doing their job. Only 4 years ago, Syria was a well-off and prosperous country that even accepted 2 million Iraqi refugees. Now, we've become the refugees. Syrian refugees want your help, yes, but to get back home to their own country. Almost half of Syria's population are refugees, 3 million outside of Syria, and 7 million of them are internally displaced inside Syria. Shouting refugees welcome, while well-meaning, is not enough. You're not going to be able to airlift 10 million Syrians into Europe. Displacing them further from their country is not ideal for anyone. The refugees want to come home. Hear them out for yourself.
حلمي هو إنه ترجع سوريا مثل ما كانت، لأنه أنا أول الناس اللي راح أرجع لها، لأنه بعد سوريا ما في، مهما طلعت وفتلت بعدها ما في.
My name is Rana. I wish to come back to the lovely country when the war will end.
I like the war to be end. Just I can go to see my friends and my family in Syria.
أمر خارجي بتمويل خارجي بس نحن عايشين وراح نرجع.
What's happening now? Happening by foreign hands. We are the Syrian. We are a good people, and we wanna complete our life in Syria.
بشتاق لكل شيء لحارتنا، لبيتنا، لأهالينا، لجماعاتنا.
You just stop the war, and we don't want to go to Europe.
To help them come home, you need to pressure your government to stop the war in Syria by stopping the US's Saudi Arabian, Qatari and Turkish allies from funding and facilitating ISIS, by ending the political support for Al-Qaeda-linked rebels, and by preventing your government from entering a war against Syria. End the sanctions on Syria. Aylan Kurdi's dad's infected teeth pushed him to try to get to Europe and fix them. Sanctions on Syria prevented his family from sending the $14,000 required to fix them. If there were no sanctions on Syria, he would have got medical care at home and Aylan would still be alive. Before the war, medical care in Syria was free. Sanctions prevent Syria from rebuilding and fighting ISIS off itself. Rebuild Syria for refugees to return. Concentrate on donating to organizations that help refugees inside of Syria. This will decrease the pressure on refugee institutions inside of Syria and help external refugees return, instead of getting on a cracky boat and drowning on the way to Europe. Here are two such organizations, Wafa Relief and the Syrian Red Crescent. The Syrian government wants refugees to return and have put forward a plan to do so. They have asked for help in implementing that plan. Blaming the refugees themselves for the wars NATO creates is not the solution. Suddenly, so many people are disrespecting Syrians, but those people never noticed Syrians in their country. There are forces that want to estrange people from their homeland and dissolve national identities altogether. Obama and other criminals are trying to make Syrians a people without a nation. A people without a nation suffer the worst humiliation. Look at what happened to the Palestinian people. One day, it could happen to you. So, defending your nationality doesn't mean disrespecting the nationality of others. By demonizing Syrian refugees, right-wing nationalists are handing liberal interventionists moral victory on a silver platter. People are sympathetic to that boy and his family, and any group that demonizes them comes off as being sociopaths and alienate everyone. For example, this UKIP politician had to apologize for his statement, "The little Syrian boy was well clothed and well fed. He died because his parents were greedy for the good life in Europe." Syrians had the good life before the UK government interfered.
Your home?
Nothing. I don't have a home.
And what happened to your business in Aleppo? Does it exist anymore?
No, it's not existed anymore.
Everything gone?
Now he give you. I am introduction here. Now you give me.
قبل 4 سنين.
قبل 4 سنين. لا ما فيني بس اتذكر حياتي 4 سنين. كتير كنا عايشين أمان.
Yes, in Syria I had my own car. It's like a car you can drive. It's really hard to drive in this car. We still don't have a good job to buying a good car like in Syria.
الحمد لله كان كويس منيح يعني وضعنا المالي، وكنت ربة منزل وزوجي عم يشتغل الحمد لله. بس بعدين انتقلنا، صارت شوي مشاكل، انتقلنا على الضيعة، قلنا يعني الضيعة ما فيها شيء. بعدين صارت الحرب بالضيعة، اجت جبهة النصرة مسكوه شهر، أخذوه شهر، كسروا له فكوا.
نقعد نتذكر نحن وياهم سوا يعني انه بيتنا كذا، بنحكي هيك شغلات مشان يضل الانسان يعني او الطفل في حنين لوطنه يعني ما ينسى، خصوصا هون معي اطفال يعني.
People ask me, why don't the Syrians stay in Turkey? Well, Syrians who are used to a high standard of living get tired of 3 years in a tent in Turkey with no prospects of a future. Numbers are very high in the million, and conditions are bad. Turkey won't improve these conditions, but want to continue sending terrorists to Syria. People are also asking, why aren't Syrians being helped by other Muslim countries? Well, Turkey and Jordan have taken 1 million each. What these people are really asking is, why aren't the rich Gulf Arab states accepting Syrian refugees? Because in the words of this Kuwaiti politician, we Syrians have a different culture and ethnicity to Arabs. They don't see Syrians as Arab, and they don't accept them as their kin. Since when have the Gulf lifted a finger to help Palestinians anyway? While it is true the people of the Levant have as little in common culturally with Arabs as they do with West Europe, this doesn't change the fact that it is the Gulf Arab states that caused the Syrian problem by backing the terrorists. They won't invest in helping Syrian refugees because they are busy spending the money on ISIS and buying golden toilets. I've also heard, why Germany, not Greece? Well, I'll let this Syrian refugee tell you.
والسبب هو انه ما تميت بليونات، لانه ما بتقدم اي مساعدات ولا فيها شغل، لانه هي يعني ما خرجت تساعد شعبها لتساعدنا.
The most honorable are the Syrians still in Syria fighting for their country. But how can one blame those that run if they themselves aren't fighting with a gun in their hand? It's time to point that finger inward. Save your nation and stop your governments from starting these wars.